Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Well, here, we're back for one more round, and why not? The Medford Mustangs have delivered plenty of entertainment value with a trio of wins at the Coach K Memorial Classic. Coming in, we will watch the Mustangs play tonight against Corvallis. And the Mustangs riding high off a couple of really entertaining victories Thursday night against Idaho Falls, and then victory, a walk-off in the bottom of the seventh, a 5-4 win against the Reno Knights, who have looked good all tournament long. We thank you for joining us. Jim McCoy along with Kyle Clements. We're out here at the yard in Eagle Point getting ready to deliver for you the Market Men versus the Mustangs. This will be the final game of the Coach K Memorial Classic, although there will be games going on tomorrow. And if you happen to be a fan of the Southern Oregon baseball team, they will be in action tomorrow. So, and we'll line out that schedule for you as the evening comes along. But as we get ready for this game, Kyle, I tell you, these last couple of nights, we have really seen something. I think the good news, if you're a Mustangs fan, their team has been battle-tested the last couple of games, and they've come out on the right end of the tally.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim, and they've been able to do it with, and I want to be careful how I say this, because every pitcher on this Mustangs team is, you know, at the top of their class when it comes to the high school level, right? And then you put them all together on the Mustangs, but they've done it without some of their top pitchers, right? We've yet to see Tom Daffern here, and just tonight now we'll see Freeman Roundtree out there.
That's what we would expect, yeah.
But for the Mustangs to be able to get production from some of the pitchers that they don't usually rely on is a great sign.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then coming in relief last night, I think we saw a little bit of the depth of the Mustangs on display as Grady Sickler came on in relief. In addition to providing the game-winning hit, he did a nice job of shutting down the Knights over about 4 innings of work. And really, he's a guy who hasn't seen a lot of action on the mound, but it tells that in itself tells you about the depth that John King has, not only in his batting order, but also on his pitching staff.
Absolutely. And, Jim, something else we saw last night that you have made a point of in some of the broadcasts, and I've jumped in and I've made a point of it as well. The plate discipline by the Mustangs last night was excellent. I can't think of another word to use for it. They were laying off pitches, Jim, that I would be swinging out of my shoes on.
Yes.
And so for them to be able to be just well-disciplined at the plate, know their hot zones, know the situation as well, Jim, right? With a runner on first and one out, then you'll see the Mustangs pitchers often lay off pitches low in the zone. They don't want to be grounding into double plays. And so the baseball IQ this team has is exceptional.
So your point, 5 walks for the Mustangs last night, 2 strikeouts.
Yeah.
Against a Reno team where both the Sala brothers were solid in their starts.
They were.
And kept it. I mean, ordinarily we're used to watching the Mustangs rack up a pile of hits. They were somewhat held in check in that regard, but then talking about the small ball, that Mustangs found another way to work around it. And I got to imagine, as you look down the road and you start thinking about things like the Reno tournament coming up, a big doubleheader coming up down the road against Eugene, and then most likely State after that you want to be able to know if, say, all your good hitting's been taken away, that you can find other ways to manufacture runs via the base on balls or the sacrifice or the squeeze.
Sure, absolutely. And, Jim, I'll tell you who I'm excited to see tonight. It's Freeman Roundtree on the mound for the Mustangs. He comes into this matchup with a 1.05 ERA, 17 strikeouts in 20 innings, Jim, only allowing 5 bases on balls. He was excellent for Ashland this last season, Jim. Their only senior on the team in Freeman Roundtree.
Oh, I just got a lineup. It's going to be Daffern tonight.
Okay. Never mind then. It is going to be Dom Daffern, but Hey, you know what?
Got to see him this year a lot.
I got to call a lot of games in which Dom Daffron was on the mound. I was the voice of the North Medford Black Tornado this past season for their baseball campaign.
Right.
And Jim Daffron, excellent fastball. It maintains it so well. You really won't see him go to too many other pitches. He's got a slider he throws. He's got a curveball he mixes in there as well. But when his fastball's on and he's locating it, Jim, he's hard to beat.
Absolutely. Well, again, this tells you about depth. And I think when you talk about the grind that is the American Legion season, we're talking they played their first game on June 9th. And here they've played 20 games already at the 28th of the month. And that will continue on into the – so you know with you absolutely it's critical if you're going to be a successful program. You have to have depth on your pitching staff because it's not like you can go to another one of the Mustang aces, Evan Roden.
Yep.
They used him up on Thursday night. Realistically, they won't be able to use him until the doubleheader comes along against Roseburg on Monday.
Yeah, and Jim, it's important for our viewers to remember this, but the players you see tonight, they just finished an entire season at the high school level, which means, they were out in 100-degree days fielding ground balls, taking live at-bats, hitting the batting cages. They were in the weight room. So these guys have been going at it since about February, Jim, of getting ready. And here we are towards the end of June, and they're still just chugging along. So to your point, the depth is important because a lot of these guys, they won't admit it, but a lot of them, I'm sure there's some tired legs out there for both teams.
Right. Well, it's going to be a fun game, and we look forward to bringing it to you. We've been entertained so far. Again, a close victory decided in the bottom of the seventh against Reno last night, and then we saw, again, a good hard-fought affair between the Mustangs and the Idaho Falls Bandits on Thursday night, and this will wrap things up for them. Right now, what we're going to do is we're going to take a timeout. Let's recognize our sponsors, and then when we return, we'll get you ready for the start of tonight's ball game. We've got Corvallis and Medford going at it here on TableRockSports.net.
In the heart of the Rogue Valley, RVTD connects us all, not just through miles traveled, but also through time. With renewable technologies and more convenient ways to get around, RVTD's building a future that keeps our region connected. Public transportation isn't just about getting from here to there. It's about the journey, past, present, and future. Rogue Valley Transportation District, celebrating 50 years of moving our community forward.
Don't miss the President's Day sales event at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat of Medford. We're stocked up on a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course, Ram trucks. Choose from our great inventory of new Jeep Gladiator and Grand Cherokee 4x4 models in stock now. Or test drive a new 25 Ram 1500 4x4. Shop online today with our online process to calculate your own payment, whether it's a lease, finance, or cash payment. Only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
At Rogue Credit Union, we don't answer to shareholders. Instead, we return earnings back to our members. We know that we're stronger when we work together, and that's why we're invested here, living, giving, and supporting local. We're your friends and your neighbors. We know the needs of our communities. Being a part of Rogue means that our focus is on our members, and when you prosper, we prosper. See the credit union difference and how being a part of something smaller can have a bigger impact.
Bill's Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
the playing of our national anthem as we get ready to get this game underway. Let's go ahead and meet the starting lineups for tonight's contest. If I can just right in time for the breeze to kick up and blow all the papers around. And so let's go ahead and meet the starting lineup for Corvallis. Their lineup will go as follows. Leading off and playing shortstop will be Drew Rice. Ben Weiss will hit second and play second base. The number 3 hitter is the designated hitter, Wyatt Jenkins. Cleanup man, playing catcher, will be Gavin Price. In the 5 spot, playing first, will be Mason Stearns. In the 6 spot will be Andrew Street playing left field. Playing right field and hitting 7th will be A.J. Altica. The number 8 hitter playing third base will be Jaden Philbracey. And some of this handwriting I have a little bit of a hard time reading, and we'll make sure we get those corrected as I check these against the printed rosters. And batting ninth will be the center fielder, Blake Linton. Starting will be Cody Mitchell out on the bump. Defensively, the Mustangs will go with the starting lineup of Kellen Willer at first base. At second, the Keegan Painter. At third will be Brady Patterson. At shortstop, Keller Bloodworth. The outfield from left to right, Grady Sickler, Easton Curtis, and Jackson Rosenthal. The battery will be Sean McFall behind the plate tonight. And the starter will be right-hander Dom Daffron. Looking at Daffron's numbers on the season, pretty impressive on a staff that has no shortage of good pitching. Daffron, this will be his 5th start. In 21 innings, he's given up 22 hits, 9 runs, 4 of them earned, 7 walks, 15 strikeouts, and a 3-0 record with a 1.33 ERA. Drew Rice stands in, and the game is underway. Daffron starts out Rice with a strike. Contact hits that out to left field, base hit. That one gets away from Sickler and motoring into second base. Rice gets Corvallis off to a good start by getting in scoring position, and now standing in will be the second baseman, Ben Weiss. Right-handed hitter, even stance. Sun still high in the western sky. Daffron from North Medford High School had a brilliant high school campaign this season. As Weiss fouls that off. On deck is Wyatt Jenkins. Weiss looks to his coach, taking a pretty healthy lead off of second base is Rice. Pitch looked like it just caught him on the wrist. So now we've got 2 aboard. Wyatt Jenkins comes to the plate. He's in the DH spot this evening. Got runners at first and second. Nobody out. Throw over to second. Rice gets in under the tag. So Corvallis, had a chance to watch them a little bit on Thursday as they took on the Roseburg Dock Stewards. Roseburg prevailed in that game 3-0, and they just played a high-scoring affair against Idaho Falls. They'll lay down the bunt. It'll go foul. Gavin Price, the on-deck hitter. Daffron, mindful of the runner. And usually those guys at the top of the order end up being speed guys. Dom catches the outside corner. Advantage to the Mustang right-hander at 0-2. Pitch on the way. Called strike 3. Daffron helping his cause there.
Yeah, Jim, great job by Daffron as well. Established the fastball inside, then went curveball away on the next 2 pitches.
And now that'll bring up Gavin Price. Price, the catcher, making the catch in center field is Curtis. Rice tags. He advances to third.
First baseman, number 7, Mason Stearns.
Mason Stearns comes to the plate. First baseman, big number 7, has runners at the corners. Daffron comes to the plate. Stearns will watch that go by as he gets ahead in the count. Throw to first. And Weiss back in under the tag. Runners at the corners. Daffron, you know, he looks sighted in pretty well so far. Courtesy call over to first base. Weiss with an opportunity to get his uniform dirty. 1-1 pitch on the way. And the runner will take off. Now looks like we got a run down here. Play at the plate. They got him. So the runner at first, Weiss took off. Then Rice took off from third, got caught in the rundown, and he's erased. So Corvallis threatens, but the Mustangs escape. We'll be back with the home half of the first inning right after these messages on TableRockSports.net.
Diverse venues, we got them. Year-round sports access? You bet. Race cars, soccer, paragliding? Check, check, check. Medford has it covered as your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Okay, you know how people complain about how Dutch Bros workers are like too nice, too hyper, compliment you too much, whatever? Maybe you're not nice enough. Maybe you need to get a little Dutch Bros in you.
Discover the West Coast destination for those seeking more. More sunny days, more athletic facilities, more outdoor adventures, more to do during downtime. Medford is your sport ground, where the West Coast plays.
Batting order for the Medford Mustangs. Easton Curtis will lead off and play center field, followed by Jackson Rosenthal in right field. Keller Bloodworth, the shortstop, hits third. In the fourth spot is the catcher, Sean McFall. Hitting fifth is first baseman, Kellen Willer. Then in the sixth spot, we've got the left fielder, Grady Sickler. In the seventh spot is Keegan Painter playing second base. Brady Patterson is the number 8 hitter, playing third. The DH hitting ninth is Cade Pedersen. And they'll get ready to go to work against Cody Mitchell. Infield, we've got Stearns at first, Weiss at second. And Fifth House at third, with Rice playing short. Pitch catches the inside corner. Mitchell, the big left-hander, 6'6", 225 pounds. Pitch just inside, 1-1. The outfield will be Street and left, Linton in center, and then Altasheen in right, Gavin Price behind the plate, and Cody Mitchell, the pitcher. Strike from Mitchell. Count goes 1-2 to the Mustangs leadoff man. Looking at one of the things I really appreciate, the nicely done roster here for Corvallis. And I see that for AJ, that the phonetic, they've got all the pronunciations on the names, and that's Altition. And a show of appreciation from our Corvallis fan. It's like, hey.
Some of the Corvallis faithful making the trip down.
Yeah. The base travels well. Well, again, you can thank your team for doing a nice job of supplying the broadcasters with good information. And, Corvallis, they got a good turnout here. We've seen a lot of Idaho Falls fans in the house, as well as Reno. A lot of these fan bases have traveled pretty well. Curtis pounds that one foul. So the count at 3-2. And the pitch way inside. Curtis will take the stroll down to first. Easton Curtis That is his 16th walk of the season, and he's only struck out 5 times. On base percentage of .473. I would say that's a pretty good leadoff hitter.
Absolutely. Healthy lead by Curtis at first as well.
And he'll take off and run, play at second, and he gets in safe. Curtis with his 17th steal of the season. So the Mustangs have a runner in scoring position. Rosenthal out of Ashland High School. Now, if I'm not mistaken, I believe he was the one that started out at Grays Harbor and is now at Butte College down in California. First pitch goes for a ball. Rosenthal, another very patient, selective Mustang hitter. He leads the team with 18 walks on the season. Mitchell, 1-0 count against Rosenthal, facing his second hitter of the night. Catches the outside corner. To level up the count. On deck for the Mustangs is shortstop Keller Bloodworth. Swing and a miss. Rosenthal offers at a pitch on the outer portion of the plate. 1-2 on the way. Rosenthal will pull that foul. Stays alive in the count. Here at game time. Temperature at 81 degrees here in Eagle Point. Tomorrow's going to be the hot one. They're predicting a high of 96. So if you're coming out for the game tomorrow, you might want to remember the sunscreen and stay hydrated. Mitchell. Pitch inside. Corvallis will be in action tomorrow morning against Reno for a 9 a.m. start. Rosenthal works the count full. Mitchell looking in, looks back at the runner. Pitch on the way. Rosenthal with the bases on balls. His 19th of the year. How do you like this for an on-base percentage? Rosenthal, 544.
Yeah, that's just incredible.
So we got 2 men aboard, nobody out. Keller Bloodworth, like Rosenthal, a product of Ashland High School. And Mitchell looks over at second, letting Curtis know he hasn't forgotten about him. Pitch way inside. Backs Bloodworth off the plate. Mustangs coming in with a record of 18-2 on the campaign. And no sign of letting up. Ball hit in the air over beyond the left field foul pole. So a very loud strike for Bloodworth hitting out of that 3 spot. Sean McFall on deck. Runners go. Throw down to third, not in time. Well, hey, if you're going to do small ball, why not throw in the double steal for good measure? So Curtis down to third. Rosenthal at second. 2-1 count to Bloodworth. Pitch inside, gets away from the catcher. Play at the plate. Easton Curtis gets underneath the tag, and it's a 1-0 ball game. Curtis scores. Rosenthal motors into third. A 3-1 count to Bloodworth. Pitch inside, gets away from the catcher. Rosenthal comes diving home. He makes it a 2-0 ball game as Bloodworth draws the walk and heads down to first. Here is Sean McFall. McFall pretty steadily the cleanup hitter in King's lineup. Team leader in RBIs with 22. Sporting a batting average of .404. And how do you like these tomatoes? You got Malari, Nips, Bloodworth, Daffron all hitting over 400. McFall, typically we'll see him at catcher, but at third, I should say, and he's getting the start at catcher tonight. We were talking earlier about depth, but that depth is nice when it is coupled with versatility.
Yeah, absolutely, Jim. And we saw it last night, but it's another example of the Mustangs finding ways to get on base in different ways, whether it's a drop third strike, getting to first, whether it's working a walk after you're down in the count 0-1. They just continue to get on base. And great base running as well once they're on base. A rare double steal pulled off.
Right. And now, here we sit. 2 runs on the board, and they haven't had a hit yet. Throw over to first. Mason Stearns wearing number 7 over there. Mitchell comes to the plate.
They're seeing the ball extremely well, Jim. I don't know if they've swung at a ball yet in this bottom half.
I don't know, not so far, that's for sure. They're really making Mitchell work early. Ball popped up in the air. You have Stearns and Mitchell converging on it. Mitchell will make the catch, and there's one gone. Kellen Willer out of North Medford. And a throw over to first, that almost gets away. But Bloodworth will stay there. With the left-hander, Tristan Malari, who plays a lot of first base, will catch a breather this evening. Willer hitting .333, 7 hits and 21 at-bats. On-base percentage of .440. 1-0 pitch from Mitchell. Ball hit in the air to left field. The catch is made. There to haul it in. That was Street making the catch. Runner Bloodworth goes. The throw comes in a little high. Bloodworth with the steal. Two gone in the inning. 1-0 count to Willer. Throw over to second. Good play by the second baseman to keep that from getting away. Medford with a run in scoring position. Willer ahead in the count. Now 3-0 on the pitch. Low and inside. Make that 2-0. Two gone. Grady Sickler at the plate. Two and one count with two gone. And Sickler picking up where he left off. Coming around, coming home. Keller Bloodworth scampers in on an RBI single by Grady Sickler. 2 times a hero last night, not only getting the win in relief, but supplying the game-winning hit. Keegan Painter comes to the plate. Second baseman from South Medford High School. That South Medford Panthers program had quite a spring. Big upset win in the 6A playoffs. Bouncing ball hit up the middle. Weiss shovels it to second. They get the out, and that will retire the side. For the Mustangs, 3 runs on 1 hit, and no Corvallis errors. We will take a timeout and be back with the top of the second right after these messages.
It's game time. And there's only one thing that makes it all possible. Refs.
We're looking for people like you.
Former athletes.
Parents.
Community members.
Anyone who can manage the game and stick with it.
But we need more heroes and stripes. People like you.
Join the team and keep sports alive.
Play ball.
Because no ref, no game.
Choose a company that best represents you and our local community.
Choose a company that focuses on relationships rather than transactions.
Choose a company that empowers their employees and provides growth opportunities from within.
Choose a company that shows compassion and rises to the occasion in times of need.
Call a John L. Scott broker today.
So it looks like Coach King's going to go pitcher by committee this evening. Coming on in relief is left-hander Tristan Malari. And Mason Stearns, who was in the middle of an at-bat last inning when they had the base running snafu, will stand in with a fresh start. Malari, his first pitch of the night is a strike. Swing and a miss, strike 2. So Malari looking good early in relief. So Daffron gets credit for a scoreless inning of work.
That'll help his ERA a tad.
Yes. Which is already looking good. This whole staff.
Not that it needed any help, of course.
Yeah. Malari comes to the plate. Ball hit in the air, deep to center field. But Easton Curtis is there to make the play, and there's one gone. Andrew Street, right-handed hitting left fielder. Pitch inside. The men in gold here, the Corvallis Girding Builders Marketmen. Street out of Corvallis High School, still has his senior year to go. He's ahead of Malari 2-0. Street practicing patience at the plate. Hitters count at 3-0. As Street takes, Malari pours that one in. And the ball hit to left field. Base hit. So a runner on first with one gone. A.J. Altition, right fielder. Street with a pretty decent lead off of first. Fithouse on deck. Swing and a miss for Altition. One and two the count. Pitch on the way, bouncing ball to second. Get the lead runner, throw over to first, is in time. The double play ball ends the inning, so Malari faces the minimum. And the Medford Mustangs maintain their 3-0 lead. We'll be back with the bottom of the second on the other side of this break.
Combining your home and auto insurance could save you time and money. And who doesn't like that? Want surprisingly great rates on auto, home, and life? Now's the time to call State Farm agent Rory Wold in Medford.
Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
This has been my profession for 30 plus years now. I really love my work. We try to source as many ingredients as we can, as local as possible, like local fruits and vegetables. We have a menu like you would find in any nice restaurant. We don't make it until you order it, so everything will be coming out fresh. We do have wonderful desserts here as well. Every day you have 5 or 6 options as far as a fresh dessert go. People are bringing in their friends and family and wanting to show off what we have here to offer.
Come take a tour of Twin Creeks and meet our award-winning
Larry Bumpus going to his bullpen, and coming into the ball game will be right-hander Sterling Holland. Holland, 6'2", 180 pounds, soon to be a junior at Crescent Valley High School. Brady Patterson, different position and a different number he's wearing tonight. Left-handed hitter. We usually see him at catcher, but he's at third tonight as McFall moves behind the plate. Patterson, a very prolific hitter, as a part of that bottom third of the Mustangs order. Patterson hitting .382 on the season. Team leader in doubles with 8. .30 count. Patterson taking all the way on that one. Holland looking at his first batter of the evening. And that one rides in on Patterson. He goes tumbling to the ground and picks himself up and heads down to first. So the leadoff man aboard, Cade Pedersen, who was last night's starting pitcher. The DH tonight. Pitch rides in high from Holland. One-0 pitch. Inside as the count goes 2-0. Pedersen, 2 home runs on the season, hitting .375. Also has 12 RBIs to his credit. He's ahead in the count here, 3-0. With Patterson on first.
Wow, what a tape, Jim.
Oh, wow, yeah.
Now, granted, it was 3-0. Tape sign's probably on anyways, but still to lay off a pitch that's belt high right there for you in the zone.
Well, and you know, again, we're talking about this guy's got some power. You know, that's got to be in the back of his mind at all times, as much as he might try to suppress it. But now we've got 2 aboard, and back to the top of the lineup, Easton Curtis. Drew a walk in the first, stole 2 bases, and scored a run. Gets ahead here. Jackson Rosenthal on deck. Ball hit into left. Base hit. And now we've got a kind of a jam going on here on the bases. Nonetheless, Patterson comes home. And Pedersen to third. And Curtis making his way back to second. So Easton Curtis does his part to help extend the lead.
One error apiece now, Jim, for both sides. We saw a combined 7 last night, I believe, in a game that I would have wagered probably would have only had 1 or 2.
Right. You kind of begin to wonder if the grind doesn't kind of overtake you a little bit after about 2 or 3 days, and of course all the baseball that they have gotten in. And it seemed like we had a really unusual number. Of course, a lot of that had to do with the bunt plays.
Yes.
But an unusual play, stuff shallow in the infield, and the type where you think you've got a shot at making the play, so you zip a throw down there, and maybe it's off target. Rosenthal ahead 2-0. He walked and scored a run in the first. And he smokes that one into right field. Coming home is Pedersen. Also scoring is Curtis. Jackson Rosenthal goes for extra bases. And it's a 6-0 ball game. Keller Bloodworth walked and scored in the first. Hits the ball out to shallow center field. Catch is made. And there's one gone. Sean McFall standing in for the Mustangs. McFall hits that into shallow right field. And another run scores as Jackson Rosenthal motors around the base paths, making it a 7-0 ball game. Kellen Willard, 0 for 1 on the day. Runner at first with one gone. And take off and head down to second. And McFall gets just ahead of the tag for the stolen base.
More excellent base running on display by the Mustangs. Not afraid to keep the foot on the gas pedal.
Well, it just all adds up, all the little stuff. Catcher for Corvallis doing a good job of keeping the ball in front of him. Gavin Price behind the plate. Well, what doesn't hurt is they've got several guys who run well.
Sure.
McFall kind of busting that stereotype of the plodding catcher. Swing and a miss by Willer.
Jim, I think it's important they get McFall home from second here in this inning now. I know that may sound silly. It is a 7-0 ball game. However, this is baseball,
right?
Know? And we've seen bats heat up in one inning, half an inning, and games just flip on their heads.
Well, earlier this afternoon, we saw Corvallis in action against Idaho Falls. They started out leading the game 5-0,
sure.
And then Idaho Falls came back for the 9-6 win. 1-2 the count to Willer. Runner at second with one out. Ball hit in the air to right field. Altition makes the catch. And there's two gone.
Sickler to the plate now, Jim, and what a game he had last night on the bump.
Yes, he did. What, 4 2/3 scoreless innings? Couple of walks, couple of strikeouts. Sickler fouls that one away. Holland getting ahead there.
I believe his final line was only surrendering 3 hits, maybe 4 hits.
At the most.
In his 4 and couple thirds innings, he was spectacular out there. And that kind of pitching on the mound, Jim, can give a bolt to the when the inning flips over and it's your turn to bat.
Well, and think about this. I would say probably in the scheme of things, I would consider Grady to probably be their probably number 4 or number 5 pitcher. Sickler ahead here, 2-1. Swing and a miss, strike 2. Yeah, he pitched last night, playing left field tonight. At least in my opinion, probably the place where he shines best with that arm of his is at catcher.
Sure.
Challengers during their playoff run, opponents learn really quickly. You just don't steal on them. 3-2 the count. Sickler swings and misses, and that'll retire the side. The Mustangs pick up 4 in the second. We'll have more baseball coming your way here at the Coach K Memorial Classic right after these messages.
For over 50 years, each day has started with a smile, a helping hand, and a promise to be there when you need us most. Delivering on that promise are our hard-working, dedicated employees. At Sherms, we're proud to be an essential part of our community and look forward to keeping our selection, quality, and value where our customers deserve for many years to come. Sherms Food for Less and Thunderbird Market.
It takes meticulous planning, continuous monitoring, and forward thinking to deliver the perfect 3-egg omelet.
Coach King going pitcher by committee tonight for the Mustangs. Starting the game for Medford was Dom Daffron. We saw Tristan Malari last inning, and now we go to Freeman Roundtree. I know you were singing his praises here right before the game got underway in anticipation.
Absolutely. I'm very excited to see Freeman, Jim, and he had an excellent senior year at Ashland, and he'll be playing college ball at the next level. As Jim, he was the lone senior on this Grizzlies team last season. He had quite a few shining moments. He had a home run over the left field wall at North Mountain Park, where Ashland plays their home games, that I would reckon probably went close to 430 feet.
Well, when you hit it out in that ballpark, you've done something. Yeah. And Roundtree, you talk about his fine performances. This will be his 6th appearance on the Hill. 20 innings, 15 hits surrendered, just 3 runs, 5 strikeouts, 5 walks, 17 strikeouts, tied for the team lead in wins with 3. Leading off is Jaden Fifhouse.
And Jim, help me with this. Who would be credited with the win should the rest of the innings go scoreless?
Well, I know it won't be the starter because they would probably in a 7-inning game or something that Daffron would have had to have gone the majority of innings. I don't know. I guess at this point then that right now Malari would be the pitcher of record.
It's funny how those things work out.
Yeah, it's kind of, when you go this way, it almost has the feel of a Major League spring training game. Swing and a miss.
And that's what Roundtree can do, Jim. His fastball's so effective. When he's on, he's on. He's as good as any other pitcher in this region.
Blake Linton comes to the plate. Right-handed hitting outfielder. Hits the ball to right center field over the outstretched glove of Painter. That'll fall for a base hit. For the Market Men, their third safety of the game.
Jim, something to watch for, and something I saw a little bit of from Freeman Roundtree this last season with the Grizzlies. When he's behind in the count, say 2-0, 3-0, he's not afraid to give you a curveball in the dirt or something upstairs that may be along the lines, as that one's sent into right field, and the catch is made for a nice out as Freeman collects another. But, Jim, he's able to kind of go against the status quo of pitchers we see at the high school and the collegiate level, which when they're down in the count, 2-0, 3-0, you usually expect a fastball down the middle.
Right. Ball goes behind the hitter. And a runner now in scoring position. Drew Rice down at second base. Ben Weiss, the hitter. He's ahead of Roundtree, 1-0. Freeman comes to the plate. Bounces foul. Count 1-1. Weiss awaits the pitch. Fisted down to third. Patterson throws down to first. Throw is not in time. We've got runners in the corners and 2 gone in the inning. But the first run of the game just 90 feet away for Corvallis. Wyatt Jenkins in the 3 spot in the order. Tonight's designated hitter. Roundtree starts him out with a strike, 0-1. Bouncing ball hit down to third. Patterson throws down to first. The out is recorded, and that will end the inning. It's a 7-0 ball game. We'll be back with the home half of the third following these messages on TableRockSports.net. Bottom of the third. Going into the second inning of relief, Sterling Holland, who took over for Cody Mitchell. Summer sports action is brought to you by our title sponsor, Lithia Jeep Dodge Chrysler, where you can find great deals on the lot or at lithiasuperstore.com, and by Rogue Credit Union with locations throughout Southern Oregon to serve you. Keegan Painter will lead off for the Mustangs. 0 for 1 on the day. Holland promptly gets ahead. So we'll have a little bit of this washed look here for a little bit as the sun starts to work its way down. Home plate facing northwest here at the yard. Painter's had a good week, got his batting average up over 300 after spending much of the young season in the high 260s. Here he's ahead 3-1. We talk about guys that run. Painter is one of those guys who, when he gets aboard, I expect to see him taking off. Pitch off the plate. A full count at 3-2. Payoff pitch on the way, fouled back to the screen. Painter with Patterson on deck and Patterson in the hole. And Painter draws the bases on balls, heads on down to first. Coach emerges from the dugout, and we're going to have a pitching change here. Just curious now about how many walks the Mustangs have drawn this evening. And Kyle, we got it at 5 walks drawn in the game so far.
That's outrageous. It's a tremendous job by Medford to see the plate well, see the ball out of the pitcher's hand well. And it's tough here at the yard as well, Jim. Credit to the Mustangs. That sun just beaming in their eyes when they stand into the batter's box here at the yard in these early innings. For them to have been able to draw 5 already, it's an exceptional job of plate discipline.
Mikey Terry coming into the ball game to pitch, right-hander from Crescent Valley High School, recent graduate. Well, the sun was part of the reason that John King went to the small ball approach in the late innings of that victory against Idaho Falls on Thursday night. Heard one of the fans refer to Coach King as the mad scientist.
Sure.
And, well, you can't be too mad if what you're doing works.
No, that's right.
Table Rock Sports is able to bring summer sports coverage thanks to our great sponsors. And that includes our longtime friends from Sherm's Thunderbird and Food for Less, and John L. Scott Real Estate, scoreboard sponsors for Table Rock Sports. One on with no one gone. The hitter, Brady Patterson. So, yeah, this will keep a North Medford announcer on his toes. You have Patterson and Pedersen.
Yes.
Patterson out playing the hot corner this evening. Left-handed hitter up with a runner at first. Pitch way inside and got a piece of him. And down to first he goes. So for Terry, not quite the way he wanted to start. So now you have Patterson at first. Painter in scoring position at second. And now Cade Pedersen, who drew a walk in the second, coming to the plate. Pitch fouled away. Terry gets ahead 0-1. Mikey Terry at 5'9", 175 pounds. A pitch hit way back in the air to right field. Goes back, way back. And you can kiss it goodbye. Cade Pedersen with his third Tater of the year to make it a 10-0 ball game. Well, that one was kind of a no-doubter.
Looked good off the bat, sounded even better.
Well, you know that there are guys, they just got the knack. Cade Pedersen with the 3-run bomb. We can see Altition running back there. You can just kind of see just by the look in the light and the way he's measuring that ball up that it was headed out. Easton Curtis hits the bouncing ball down the short. Weiss throws across the infield, and there's one gone. So 6-3 on the play. And here's Jackson Rosenthal coming to the plate with one down. Pitch inside. So for Pedersen, that is his third round tripper of the year. So he's at a pace where he's averaging about a home run every 9 at-bats. Although, oddly enough, as prolific as this Mustangs team is, and we've seen them be just loaded with power in years past, this is really not that kind of team.
No, it's not. It's different from years past, Jim, and they're able to rely on the small ball. And, you know, something else that they're really able to rely on is the smart base running.
Right. Well, it just makes it all the better because, what good's getting on base if you can't come around? And unfortunately, I have seen my share of teams this year who have run themselves out of ball games. Rosenthal takes the stroll down to first. Rosenthal drawing his second walk of the night. Officially, Rosenthal 1 for 1, 2 walks. Then that one hit a 2 RBI double. Bloodworth to the plate. He's walked and flied out this evening. Terry is ahead of him. Pitch just inside as the count goes 1-1. Bouncing ball lands in right field. Base hit for Bloodworth as he goes the other way. So we have runners at first and second. And if I'm not mistaken, Kyle, I think I smell some barbecue going on near us.
I do as well. They've got burgers, hot dogs at concessions here for the Coach K tournament. I indulged in one on Thursday. Very great.
Well, you know, to me, a baseball game is simply not complete without a hot dog.
Yeah, absolutely.
Ball hit in the air to right field. Altition there to make the catch. And there's 2 gone. So F9 on the play, and speaking of flies to right, Kellen Willer, 0 for 2 on the day, and his last at-bat, he hit a fly ball to right field. Terry inside with his first pitch. Runners at first and second with 2 gone. Ball hit in the air to right field. Altition there makes the catch, and that'll retire the side. Highlight of the inning, a 3-run bomb by Cade Pedersen, making it a 10-0 ball game. We'll be back with the top of the 4th after these messages on TableRockSports.net.
What's that? All the Medford guys. I live here in Southern Oregon, and then actually the high school I work at, we've got 2 guys on the team who go to Cascade Christian, and so I teach over there, and they're play-by-play guy during football, basketball, baseball season. 8 years, and I've been doing their radio for about 17. So. Oh my God.
Just having a chance to. This is one of the things you have to love about these tournaments is that get the opportunity to shoot the breeze with
it's
the
a
fan
small
base.
world.
It is. We're just talking for a lot of folks. It's no small secret that the day job's over at Cascade Christian High School, and do their play-by-play, when they're playing and so forth. But was just talking with a young lady whose stepdad worked at Cascade a number of years ago.
Okay.
And so it and there are a couple of Cascade kids on this Mustangs team.
Now,
so.
Jim, with Cascade, and they're very famous for, how competitive their athletic programs are. The elusive Triple Crown in high school sports, football, basketball, and baseball. Cascade, they completed it how many times in the last few years? Was it just once?
They've come close several times, but
have not gotten
have
it.
not gotten
okay.
there.
I was misinformed.
So you see, like with baseball, they won the state championship in 2012. That team, I believe that year, the football team lost in the state championship game to Dayton. And the basketball team, that was kind of a downtime. They had a playoff team, but didn't go very far. Leadoff man aboard, Gavin Price here in the top of the fourth. And he's going to take off and head down to second base. So now, the market men with a runner in scoring position. And once again, John King it's a round-robin approach to pitching this evening. We saw Daffron, Malari, Freeman Roundtree, one-oh count, runner at second, nobody out. Pitch off the plate, count 2-0. That looks like Roden. That can't be him, is it? Oh, it's Jake Lewis. Team leader in appearances. This is his 8th of the season and kind of their designated relief man. Seen a little bit of him out in left field during the course of this tournament. Lewis from South Medford. Down 3-0 to Mason Stearns, the first baseman. Right down Broadway. Strike one. Lewis looks over to the runner at second. Working from the stretch. Ball hit in the air. And there to close the glove on it and record the out is Willer, and there's one gone. One gone, and here's Andrew Street. Street 1 for 1 on the day. So Lewis, the 4th pitcher that we've seen today. Ball hit in the air to center field. Curtis sizes it up. Hits the cutoff man. The runner will stay at second, and there's two gone. A.J. Altition standing in with two out. AJ will take on the first pitch. Gets ahead 1-0. Price, the runner at second. There's a strike. Day turning tonight here in Eagle Point. Pitch on the way. This is outside. 2-1.
What a curveball from Lewis.
Nice looking pitch.
Found the zone. Deuce is wild.
Corvallis looking to put their first run of the game on the board as they trail 10-0. Altishon tempted, but holds off to his credit, and now he runs the count full at 3-2. Here comes the payoff pitch from Lewis. Bouncing ball hit down to third. Patterson throws across the infield. The throw is in time, and that will retire the side. Corvallis gets a man on, but unable to bring him home. We'll go to the bottom of the fourth, 10-0 ball game. Stick around, we'll be back in 60 seconds.
In the heart of the Rogue Valley, RVTD connects us all, not just through miles traveled, but also through time. With renewable technologies and more convenient ways to get around, RVTD's building a future that keeps our region connected. Public transportation isn't just about getting from here to there. It's about the journey, past, present, and future. Rogue Valley Transportation District, celebrating 50 years of moving our community forward.
Don't miss the President's Day sales event at Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge Ram Fiat of Medford. We're stocked up on a great selection of new vehicles from Chrysler, Jeep, Dodge, and of course, Ram trucks. Choose from our great inventory of new Jeep Gladiator and Grand Cherokee 4x4 models in stock now. Or test drive a new 25 Ram 1500 4x4. Shop online today with our online process to calculate your own payment, whether it's a lease, finance, or cash payment. Only at the Lithia Chrysler Jeep Dodge of Medford Superstore.
Bottom of the fourth. And from the looks of things, it looks like we may have a pinch hitter for the Mustangs. Jack Nips heads to the plate. Hitting in place of Sickler. Jack, 7 for 16 hitting on the year. And we mentioned Cade Pedersen with his 3 home runs.
Sure.
Nips has the other one. And his senior year at Cascade, which he graduated not this last spring, but the spring before, he was quite a home run hitter. Actually had a game where he had 10 RBIs.
Wow. That's Shohei Ohtani levels right there.
Yes, it is. Line drive. Up over the outstretched glove of Weiss. So Nips gets aboard with the pinch hit single. Keegan Painter comes to the plate with the runner on first. Painter 0 for 1. Grounded out and walked. And he lines one deep to left field. That one caught just short of the warning track.
Warning track power right there.
Wow. Making us rethink how we think about middle infielders and their power. Cade Pedersen, bouncing ball down to first unassisted. Try to get the play at second, and Stearns doing a nice job there. Don't see too many double plays of that variety.
No, you don't.
A lot of props to Stearns.
Yes. Yeah, quick inning.
So the Mustangs unable to score in this inning, but they remain on top, 10-0. We'll be back in 60 seconds.
At Rogue Credit Union, we don't answer to shareholders. Instead, we return earnings back to our members. We know that we're stronger when we work together, and that's why we're invested here, living, giving, and supporting local. We're your friends and your neighbors. We know the needs of our communities. Being a part of Rogue means that our focus is on our members, and when you prosper, we prosper. See the credit union difference and how being a part of something smaller can have a bigger impact.
Bill's Glass covers the full spectrum of your glass needs and dreams. Having new windows installed by Bill's Glass dramatically update and improves the look of your home and helps reduce energy bills year-round. Let Bill's Glass show you what you've been missing. Bill's Glass, the largest glass company in Southern Oregon for your home and auto, as well as the trusted industry leader for over 50 years. Locally owned, family run, Bill's Glass in Ashland, Medford, and Grants Pass.
Grady's case, you know. All right, we're going to go to the top of the fifth. And with a 10-0 ball game, we'll be closing in on the mercy rule potentially here. And
great pitching display this evening, Jim, by the Mustangs, using a variety of pitchers. We have, I believe, a new pitcher on the mound now. We do for the Mustangs. I believe this is number 10. No. I'll get a number for you as soon as I'm
trying to figure out whether that's
a 0 or a 3 out there.
Which 10 would be Roden, and 13 would be Sickler. That looks, or is that McFall? Looks like that might be an 8.
We're putting the puzzle pieces together.
Because now we've got Douglas behind the plate, where McFall had been. I think this is McFall.
I think this is McFall as well.
Well, King's keeping us on our toes tonight. This is the 5th inning and the 5th Mustangs pitcher.
Absolutely, and all the pitchers tonight did it extremely well. There were a few times, Jim, when Corvallis had a runner on second, had a runner at third at one point, and in Roundtree's case, I think gave up a hit, but nothing bothered the Mustangs pitcher. It was water off their backs. They went out, found the zone, and got out of innings quickly this evening.
It has been quite a game for the Mustangs. It's been quite a tournament for the Mustangs. Should the result hold here, they will have come away 4-0 for the tournament, and they don't necessarily play it for a championship per se in this tournament, which is more kind of a round-robin type of tournament. But they come away with a perfect record. Jaden Fife. Here, and I thought, for the first time, I'm going to get this guy's name right.
Sure.
And Jaden Fifehouse. I want you to know that there's no truth to the rumor that I was Yogi Berra's speechwriter.
Okay. That rumor had been circulating, so I'm glad we have you on air now to shut that down, Jim. That's fantastic news. What a guy he was.
Oh my goodness. Do you think? Okay, we can have this debate here. Among catchers,
sure,
was he the GOAT?
There's a
because it's always kind of down to him, Johnny Bench.
Sure. Does one
Bill
of them,
Dickey? If you go way back, and guys that neither one of us had seen.
Does Yadier Molina get in this conversation?
Defensively,
sure.
Defensively. Offensively?
Maybe not, but defensively he has a case as well.
Well, Barrow was so funny because he was only like 5'7".
Oh, yeah.
But, he could play the outfield.
Yeah.
And, of course, people made a lot of fun because he didn't look the part. He looked like the guy that would be walking through the stands as a hot dog vendor rather than
having the uniform on, playing in front of 60-some thousand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But an incredible career. Pitch inside, 5 house. Takes the walk down to first. Blake Linton, the hitter. Man aboard with nobody out. Oh, we have a pinch hitter, has just been announced by Tim O'Sullivan at the public address booth. Kason Jacobs. Jacobs, one of several players from Crescent Valley High School. And the pitch goes inside. Easton Douglas is going to have to chase this one down. Runner moves to second. But not unlike the Mustangs, who draw from a number of schools on this Corvallis Girding Builders roster. You have West Albany, Corvallis, Philomath, Junction City, West Albany, and Santiam Christian. I don't think you were quite in college yet, but there was a period of time where Cascade Christian and Santiam Christian had quite a 3A rivalry going.
Okay.
Well, and they ended up, one of their players, Jeff Hendricks, went on to play at Oregon State and then played in the Yankees system for a couple of years. Incredible athlete. For as much speed as Cascade Christian had, nobody could catch him during football season. On top of that, he kicked a championship-winning 47-yard field goal during his high school career. Ball hit in the air to right field. The catch is made.
That was a tricky one to decide whether to run from second to third there, Jim, for Corvallis. It was somewhat deep, and it was opposite corner.
Well, there's so many things you figure. We got the breeze that's been kind of blowing in over here a little bit throughout the course of the evening. Got to imagine that plays havoc on things a little bit out in the outfield. And there's having that sense. It's like he catches it. How about his arm? Can I beat it? Drew Rice, the hitter, has a runner at second with one down. Corvallis with 5 hits in the game. So they've gotten on base here and there, but not unlike the case with Reno last night, is that they've been scattered enough it's limited the damage to the Mustangs. 1-2 pitch. There's a strike. Down goes Rice. And up comes Ben Weiss.
Looks like we'll have a pitching change.
Everybody getting into the act this evening, so McFall, and I believe we might have Bloodworth going to go to work now.
Nice job by McFall bouncing back.
Yep.
Getting 2 outs, one of them a strikeout.
Yeah, coming into tonight's action as a pitcher, McFall in single digits for the season. Bloodworth has thrown 4 2/3 on the season. So Coach King working deep into his staff before tonight's game. McFall had thrown actually 7 in the third innings. Bloodworth had gone for 4 2/3. So this will now be the 6th pitcher for the Mustangs. And Brett Wolf, longtime North Medford baseball coach, serving as the pitching coach here for the Mustangs. And the Coach K Memorial Classic, that in honor of longtime Mustangs manager Sandy Kensinger.
Yes. Not Mike Krzyzewski, as Google AI tried to trick our very own Jim McCoy.
Mike Krzyzewski, like I said, I'm sure probably we can make some kind of far-reaching connection.
Some 6 degrees of separation, right?
Yes.
No.
Well, this might be where the 6 degrees of B.G. Gould comes into play. Does the man not know everybody?
If you have a question about anything Southern Oregon sports related, he's got an answer for it.
Swing and a miss by Weiss. No, people say, Jim, you sure know a lot about sports. I was like, no. Compared to Beach, I got nothing. And then we had another guy who he was originally a sports reporter and then was the original play-by-play announcer for the Challengers.
Sure.
Was business editor for the old Medford Mail Tribune. Now he's living up in Greg Stiles. Greg Stiles was another guy. He knew the names of all the ballparks around Oregon, grew up on the Oregon coast over in Coos Bay. And those guys, I think you just kind of stick around long enough, a few things stick to you.
Corvallis down to their last strike now, Jim.
1-2. Swing and a miss. And the Medford Mustangs earn their 19th victory of the season. They do so with a 10-0 shutout of their Corvallis Girding Builders Market men by a 10-0 score. Now, it will be interesting to see who is, but again, if I'm thinking that the winning pitcher will be the second pitcher, Malari. Dafford only doesn't get it just because he was the starting pitcher.
And Malari ends up with the win.
So, what a country.
It's funny how that happens sometimes, and it's especially funny, it happens in Major League Baseball sometimes, right, where a guy will come in for, let's say, 2/3 of an inning in the eighth, right, and the game wraps up, and he's credited with the W. He gets it stamped, and it's funny how that happens.
Well, a game, not the drama that we had the last couple of nights, but once again, an evening where you can say, even with the Mustangs really just taking control of the situation and never letting off the pedal, that you always, I guess what I look for in a game like that is, okay, they may be out in this comfortable lead. How are they going to handle this lead? How are they going to handle their success? Are they going to go ahead and remain focused? Keep the gas on the, keep their foot on the pedal? Or are they going to kind of get a little loosey-goosey and careless, which a team, especially a team of teenagers, might tend to do at times?
Sure, absolutely, Jim. I think that could be the case, but I think Coach King's got them. I think there's no world where he lets that happen. This is going to be a catalyst for them. I really do think. I think this is going to provide them with focus. I think this will provide them with, just most importantly, confidence, Jim. You've beaten teams that, in my opinion, are probably a little more difficult to beat than the Eugene Challengers or other teams in this region, right? Idaho Falls being one of them, and so I think they can go to Eugene now with their chest sticking out a little bit, and maybe steal a game from Eugene up there. I think splitting with Eugene up in Eugene, splitting with the Challengers, I think that would be a nice result, a fair result for Medford right now.
Absolutely. Well, things are looking good for them right now.
Yes.
Only 2 losses on the season, one of them a 1-run heartbreaker that you and I saw.
Yes, you and I called,
yeah, I was beginning to feel like I was bad luck.
And there was a play at the plate there towards the very end, Jim, if you remember, where it was a bang-bang play at home to tie the game.
Yeah, McFall coming around after hitting that triple, and And so you have that game, and then they had the 2-1 loss last weekend. So when you go, you look at the body of work, things look very positive. And the thing you have to again appreciate the most as I look at one error committed. That's going to be about par for the course for any team in American Legion baseball. That for them to have come away, they can come away from this tournament saying we checked all the boxes.
Yeah. Absolutely. They did everything that was asked of them. They beat the teams that they were supposed to beat. And, Jim, more importantly, they beat a few teams this weekend that maybe they weren't supposed to beat. Mm-hmm. So things are looking up for Medford. It's going to be a fun run-in once we get into the weeks into August. It's going to be a fun time to be a Mustangs fan.
Absolutely. Well, coming up, they'll take a day off tomorrow, even though this tournament continues. Southern Oregon will be playing. Corvallis will be playing tomorrow morning at 9 a.m. So there's still more baseball. So baseball fans, come on out and check it out. And then the Mustangs back in action on the road up in Roseburg. So our friends from 541 will have that covered. And then they go on to the Reno tournament.
Absolutely.
And that'll be again, another interesting one to watch. And some of these teams we saw here will be at that tournament. So we'll get a chance to take them on again.
Do it all over again.
You bet.
What a fun evening.
You bet. Well, it's been fun working with you this weekend. Let's do this again sometime.
Let's plan on it, Jim.
All right. Well, this will wrap things up from here. Our executive producer for Table Rock Sports is Joe Brett. For Kyle Clements, I'm Jim McCoy saying thank you for joining us and enjoy the rest of your weekend.